Hello everyone. You'll never guess who it is. Yeah, that's right, it's me, it's Jackham. I know it's been a while, but exciting news today because I have made sample pack. I've made a sample pack, right? I've wanted to do this for a while, but I procrastinate like fuck, like I'm sure many of you do as well. I'm sure many of you are procrastinating right now by watching this video. But yeah, I've made a sample pack, okay? This is the first one I've ever done. I'm definitely going to do some more. And I wanted to do a little video to kind of show you, I guess, how to use the sample pack, right? I know that sounds weird, like we all know how to use sample packs, but I kind of had a very specific idea in mind for this pack when I made it. And I kind of also want to talk you through that, basically. I want to talk you through the process of why I made the pack and what I had in mind when making the pack. Okay, so let's just show you first. It's the sample pack is a bass sample pack. Okay, so it's basses and they're all one shots, right? So let me chat to you a little bit about samples before we get in and actually start using them. Okay, UK garage, obviously it has many kind of flavors these days, right? This sample pack is kind of more suited to more of just your kind of classic meat and two veg garage, right? So we're talking bouncy garage, like I guess me and people like, you know, maybe Oppidan and Sammy Verge kind of make, amongst obviously many others. But the point of this pack is to provide people with usable bass samples. Now when I say usable, I really mean that, because when you go looking for kind of bass one shots, right, especially if you're looking on places like Splice, a lot of those samples are overproduced, over processed samples which are really difficult to actually kind of use in tracks. Okay, this might sound a bit like a fucking conspiracy theory, but I genuinely believe that a lot of these sample makers are when they make a bass sample, they are putting as much processing as possible on that sample to make it sound as big as it does on its own. Obviously, these people want you to download the samples. They want you to use their samples. So when you're browsing through Splice, through bass one shots, their goal is to make that sample sound as big, as wide, as, you know, full spectrum as possible on its own. So it sounds great on its own. So you think, yeah, that sounds mint, grab it and throw it in the project. But through doing my one-to-ones with, my clients, when I'm doing my Ableton tuition one-to-ones, if you don't know that I do those, I do those. If you want to jump on one, you can just give me a shout on Instagram's normally the best place. But yeah, when I'm speaking to a lot of people, you know, they're finding it hard to find samples that actually fit in the projects. The reality of, especially kind of UK garage, the reality of the process is that a lot of the bass sounds are actually really simple, right? They're incredibly simple, and they need to be simple because oftentimes in garage you have drums and then you've got your vocal on top and then you've got maybe some chord stabs and then maybe you've got some little leads and then some other melodies and pads and blah blah blah. You've got all this different stuff happening, and so if you end up with a bass sound that's too over processed, that's too big, it's really difficult to fit that into the mix because there's just too much going on in the sample, right? So that's why I've made this pack. I'm going to go through now and show you a couple of my favourite sounds from this pack. But what you'll probably pick up on is that they're actually pretty simple, right? They're not incredibly wide, and if they are a little bit wide, they work well in mono. What you'll notice when we go through some of these sounds is that they're incredibly simple, okay? They're incredibly simple and they're almost under-processed, and they're designed that way on purpose because I want anyone to be able to drag these samples in and just use them right from the get-go. And if they want to saturate them a bit, they have that option available to them. If they want to put a reverb on them, they can. You know, most of these samples are pretty dry sounding. They don't have that much I don't think any of them have any reverb on, actually. But again, this is all designed that way because this is kind of like, as like an experienced producer who's been doing this for a long time, this is what I would want out of a sample pack. The last thing I would want is loads of sounds that are kind of already locked in with their processing and can't be changed. So these are designed to be flexible, but they're also designed to kind of work straight out of the box as well. You know, you don't need to process these. So let me just show you how the pack's structured, right? This is them, okay? So there's 100 one-shots. They're good as supporting sounds. They're good as the main sound. I've used these as the main kind of sound in a track, in tracks before. So yeah, the pack is structured thus. There's 100 one-shots. They're all pitched to F, okay? The reason I've pitched them all to F is because oftentimes they'll be pitched to C, right? But I don't often write tunes in C, and I don't know that many people that do. Like F for me is a more common kind of note to use, and so I thought they'd be a bit more usable like that. So they're all pitched to F. They were all kind of originally designed and exported around 135 BPM. So that will give you, you know, that's a decent range. You know, UK garage, especially the 4/4 stuff, you're talking from kind of 130 to maybe like 137, 138. So you slap bang in the middle, really, of those BPM ranges. So you've got decent kind of flexibility going up or down. And I've not named any of the samples. The reason I've not named any of the samples is because, like, I guess this pack is kind of there to be used. Like, you're in the studio, you've got a track on the go, you want to make, you need a bass line, and you can just start dragging these in at random, right? Obviously you can audition them before if you like, but I kind of like the idea personally. I've always liked the idea of just testing shit out, throwing one in, and that's why I've left them unnamed, so that you kind of just pick them out at random. But yeah, so let's kind of listen to some of these. So we've got some like classic warps. We've got some like kind of dong basses. Some percussive ones. Some bass lineier ones. Again, some more kind of, I guess like, some more kind of wubby, speed garagey type ones. Again, some kind of dongs. I call these dongs, or you could call them, I guess, like plucks. Some nice, like, just like a nice crispy sub, right? These are just like kind of, these three are like, I guess, Virgie style, kind of just 808, like subby kind of one shot. So these are nice if you're wanting something just like to support something more melodic. You don't want the bass to be the main kind of star of the show. You've got maybe a sample or a chord progression, and you just want something to support that. These are cool for that. Again, some kind of wubby, it's like bassline cross UK garage type sounds. Think like Never Let You Go style basses, like in like Virgie's tune. Some more Reese's. Again, more just like classic bass tones. Shit like this, guys, is always usable. Like, it always just fits in a track. They can just sit in there, you know, if you need like a little pitch drop somewhere in the groove. Boom, like, sounds like this are perfect. Again, some more kind of ghostly wubs. I also in here I've got some more of the classic. Again, so basses like this. Simple, classic kind of harmonic basses, essentially. This would be kind of like your Damager style bass, etc. Or like, if you're aware of my tune, what's it fucking called now? My Next Man Treasure bootleg. Like, that uses kind of basses like this. What else? Let's go down to the bottom. Again, just some big flat kind of nice bass tones. So this I don't know what the name for this is. It's essentially a Reese, but I call it the prang bass. But you'll have heard this kind of thing all over the place if you're into like garage and drum bass even as well. Just a great bass to have if you just want something. Again, not the star of the show, but a little fill. You know, you can do cool pitch bends with it. Always sounds cool. These, I mean, I love these. I use these all the time. Kind of like very paranoid sounding, plucky, dongy type things, like kind of almost similar to, yeah, shit that I've used in the past and maybe like MPH as well. Put some of these like wobbles in just for shits and gigs. Why not? Again, another one of those prang basses, really good to use. Some really vowely, juicy kind of wubs. Some classic kind of, I don't know, yeah, super ravey wubs. So yeah, loads of shit there, right? And super usable. You should just be able to chuck these straight in, guys, and just basically crack straight on with them. Yeah, another thing that's really important with these, and that I had in mind when making them, is the balance of harmonics in each of these basses. Okay, so those that have watched other videos on my channel before will have heard me talk about kind of bass harmonics and the relative volumes of those. Okay, so a huge thing is this. If you look here at the second harmonic, it's much quieter than the first, right? A lot of times I've seen with some samples, for whatever reason, the second harmonic is like miles louder than the sub, which is just a fucking nightmare, right? It's a nightmare to mix down. You never end up sounding like you have enough sub, but then the bass always sounds too loud when you turn it up. You know, you just end up in a world of fucking pain, basically. So all of these are designed in a way where the harmonics are balanced, right? It might not seem like a big deal, but like the balance of the low end harmonics is super important. So where are those? Yeah, so stuff like this. So you'll see first harmonic loudest, second harmonic kind of half the volume, third harmonic still pretty loud, and then your upper mid harmonics really cutting through. So this is all designed on purpose, guys. These are supposed to just fit well, right? If you go and just look at your favourite tunes through like a Pro Q, look at the low end and you'll see oftentimes this kind of pattern in the low kind of sub harmonics. You'll see that. So let's actually show you them like in a track, right? This is like an Ableton specific kind of trick, I guess, here that I'm going to do, but they're all pitched to F0. So for Ableton, guys, if you throw in one of these samples, obviously you need to set the root note. So down here, click on root. On Ableton, if you just type 29 in there, it will snap straight to F0, right? So that's just a little time-saving thing. So obviously some of these work better for kind of faster bass lines, and then others are definitely slower, like for example this one is definitely more of a quarter note feel. So yeah, thank you for watching the video and hopefully you enjoy the samples. let me know what kind of other sample packs you might want me to make in the future, and I'll do it. See you later.